Welcome to our virtual coffee shop. Even today, we are going to follow the road of this cup, the trail behind it, and we will follow also the daily life of the people that is working and living into the plantation, and how they are able to give to this cup these fantastic characteristics in terms of aroma and flavor. We will do it through an interview of our series Meet the Coffee Farmer, and the interview of today is with Pablo Eguiguren, a farmer from Ecuador. He is the owner of the finca called El Aguacate, the avocado, we discovered it means, even if they don't produce any avocado, that is located in the south part of Ecuador, in the area that is much more related with the coffee specialty of Ecuador. By the way, they just produce specialty coffees, so they are very focused on, and they are going to tell you a lot of very interesting things. Probably the most interesting, if I can just suggest you, is at minute 38, when Pablo is starting to tell us the relation between the production price of a specialty coffee and its scoring, and how much you can sell the coffee depending from the score. Probably I have not told you very well, but just I invite you to discover it from the interview. By the way, the interview is going to be quite long. There are a lot of interesting things to say, but if you are in a hurry, over here you can find the link related to the most interesting part, of the interview. And before to start, I want just thank you our technical sponsors. So CaffèLab and Mocafer, they import these coffees in Europe. The La San Marco espresso machines that allow us to extract such beautiful espressos. And of course, our school, Espresso Academy. We hope you are going to enjoy this interview, because we have still a lot of very interesting things to say in our series Meet the Coffee Farmer, and we want to just invite you to follow with us a lot of different trails in the world of coffee. Today we are here very lucky to have Pablo speaking with us from Ecuador, a country that, even being located in an area that is very famous for coffee in general, but maybe it is maybe one of the less famous countries for coffee in that area. Yes? So, so yeah, it's very just on the side of Colombia, for instance, that is very famous for coffee, but Ecuador is said is a bit less. I don't know if it is true, what I'm saying. What do you think?
Yeah. Well, hi. I'm not really sure if actually at this moment Ecuador is not famous. Maybe if we talk about 5 years ago or something, no one would have ever heard of Ecuador in the coffee business. But thankfully, nowadays we are like making an entrance, a good entrance. So that's good. Yeah, it's a small country with no very much high background, but yeah, I think now and in the near future, people will be drinking Ecuadorian coffee all over the.
Okay. So it is going to grow up. Well, anyway, sorry that we started speaking about Ecuador, but honestly, we are interested to speak about you, your job, what you do, your daily life in the plantation. So your name is Pablo. You are running a plantation that is located in Ecuador. In which area of Ecuador?
Okay, it's in the southern part of the country, in a province called Loja, where actually maybe I would say 60-70% of the specialty coffee from Ecuador is grown. Okay. So it's like a big coffee production area. Inside this province, there is a city called Loja. It has the same name.
Okay.
And there is my farm that is called El Aguacate. Like in English, you would say the avocado.
Okay.
But no, the name is in Spanish. I'm just making some clearance.
Is the name related with what you produce? So you produce avocado?
No.
Okay.
We don't have a single plant of avocados. No.
Okay.
Just coffee. Yeah. The name the name was there in the farm before the coffee arrived, so we decided to keep it.
Okay. By the way, right now avocado is growing a lot as market in the worldwide. Are you thinking to change your approach to go back to the roots?
No, of course not. No, because the first of all, as I said, I mean, the name is not avocado or aguacate or in whatever language you can translate it. No, the name is in Spanish and it's called Finca El Aguacate.
Okay,
Um,
just a name.
and
Yeah.
I'm actually kind of, I mean, we decided to keep the name out of two reasons. First, it's kind of ironic and it, for the people, it's easy to remember the name because it's like, what is like a farm that produces coffee, but it's named avocados, okay? And the other side is that, as you said, the avocado has a very strong criteria all over the world. Like everybody thinks the avocado is like the best food ever. So it kind of like gives you a little
Yeah, no, I
bit of that
understand.
reputation.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's the main idea.
Okay. How big is the plantation? How many hectares?
Um, we have 5 hectares completely grown. Well, 4.5. We're growing the other half. It's a small, relatively small farm. For Ecuador, it's not small, but if you
Okay.
consider for other countries, it's really small. We produce only specialty coffee. Like we don't. Oh, that's it. We just
Okay,
produce
no
specialty
any
coffee.
commodity coffee.
Um,
When did you
yeah, no
start
any
it?
commodity coffee.
When did you started your plantation, or
Um,
when you switched it to the specialty coffee? To
okay. That is like kind of a long story, but trying to make it short. In 2010, this is a family business. So in 2010, my grandfather and my grandmother decided to grow some coffee for them. Like, hey, I want to grow some coffee for my own consumption.
okay,
They start really loving every aspect of it. And in the next couple of years, until let's say 2012, they started not growing coffee for themselves, but growing coffee as a business. Um, we as a family have always have the coffee inside our blood, let's say. Like, but when one of our aunts and uncle own a coffee business, a roasted coffee business. We all in the family drink coffee every day. Not something so like intrinsic for us, but the thing is, the coffee was there always.
okay,
So when they start growing coffee, everyone was like, "Wow, this is amazing!" Everyone was very excited about it. So they start uh, kind of falling in love with the project, and they they discovered that the soil of the farm was very rich and its high altitude started to produce some really high quality coffees.
okay.
So a lot of
But
people in the business,
by the way, sorry, you have spoken about altitude. So how high is the plantation? Which is the altitude
is
of the?
very high. It's 2100. Yeah, 2100. I'm always missing
Okay,
numbers.
yeah.
2100 meters above the sea level. Yeah.
Okay, okay,
It's
yeah,
really high. Yeah.
okay, yeah, okay.
Um.
Just translating it into meters. Okay,
Yeah. Yeah. In
okay.
meters, but I'm talking meters, right? Right.
Oh, okay, okay.
So I
Two
mean,
two
let's
one
say
zero zero.
2100.
Okay, 2001.
Yeah, 2100.
Fantastic.
2000.
Sorry,
Yeah.
very good. Okay,
Okay.
21. Okay.
Um. 2100. Yeah. This
Yeah,
way
no,
of saying
no
numbers in
problem.
English,
No
but it's
problem at all. I suppose you are speaking in feet. Okay, but I was trying to
yeah.
translate it. Well, okay. So yes,
Yeah.
absolutely, very high, very high. Yeah, very good.
Very high. Yeah,
It,
and as I said, the soil also was very rich in minerals and nutrients. So a lot of people in the coffee business start looking into the farm like, hey, this is amazing. Let me give you some seeds. Let me give you some genetics. Let me give you some help, etc. Let's say this was about 2015. So my grandparents were completely involved in the coffee business. That was their final life project, and it was very nice and everything. But it was a problem in the administrative part of the business that it wasn't making any money. So it kind of became a problem to the family because it was this big project which everybody loves, but it was consuming year by year more and more money.
Okay.
And even though, as I told you, we have a member of the family who own a brand of roasted coffee that is called Minerva. They were even helping with everything they can. They were buying all the production. In all the family was involved and all the family was trying to get it out, but we were reaching 2018, 2019, and the coffee plantation was a disaster. Amazing by one hand, but in numbers, that's not working. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Uh, and then there is when I come into the business. Uh, I have always seen it as a side project, as a maybe a near short term future project for me, for my life. But there was what I like to call an inflection point, okay, in which in 2019 my grandmother died. So she was kind of the head of the business, and someone else needed to take care of it, of the farm. So that is like one branch of the story. The other branch of the story is me. I was like a normal guy, studying my university, my things. I studied industrial engineering, and I was living in a city in the capital of Ecuador that is called Quito.
Okay.
I lived there for I grew up here in Loja, but I moved to Quito and I lived there for like 10 years, something like that. And in this inflection point, my family said like, hey, if you like coffee and you are actually working on coffee, because I was working in a
Okay.
different company like in
Okay.
coffee. So I have learned a lot and I started to really like the business. They say like, hey, why don't you take care of the farm?
The
Like
family
it's
business.
all
Yeah.
yours. Yeah, if you want it, it's all yours. So I was like, okay. At this moment, it was starting the pandemic. The near future wasn't so clear, wasn't so like you didn't know what was going on. I was in between jobs, so I said like, okay, and I returned and moved to back to Loja and start taking care of the farm. That's when we made the jump to a specialty process.
Okay.
I was working in a specialty coffee business in Quito. I was very much into the business. With high knowledge. I have never worked in the agriculture part, but I knew how the process worked. I knew how the business worked. So we decided to leave how you say, the commodity coffee and translate it into the, the
Specialty one.
specialty coffee. Yeah. And as I told you before, we had great varieties, great genetics, great soils, great altitude. So kind of the farm had all the potential to explode, but it kind of lacked some cold-headed brain
Okay.
to
But the
land
way,
some
yeah.
some ideas. Yeah.
Yeah.
So kind of the two stories
Yeah,
collided
process
into
together.
one. Yeah. And of course, I hired some guys, some experts in the business. I asked for help. It wasn't like I think done by the morning. It was a really hard job, but in the first year, and of course, we made an extra investment in post-harvesting infrastructure.
Mhm.
But at the end of the day, at the end of the year, the results were amazing. The coffee went from scoring best case scenario an 80, 81, 82, and in that year that I got involved, we were fighting competitions. We were getting into the export business.
Okay.
So it was like a before and an after. Okay.
Okay.
So
Okay.
it was really exciting for me too to like see results so fast. Not
Yeah,
very
in
fast,
fact,
but I
at the
mean,
end, just in 2, 3 years, you have been able to switch the production from commodity to specialty and to get success. So
yeah, exactly,
it's a
exactly.
lot.
So in these 3 years, unfortunately, I haven't shipped any coffee from El Aguacate to Italy, but a lot of doors opened across the world, and we thankfully, like, I
we,
don't
we,
know.
we hope to open you some doors.
Yeah, great. I mean, that's part of the main goal here. I hope so too.
Yeah.
Um,
Anyway,
but yeah, that is kind of the story behind the family story
oh,
because
it's very interesting. Absolutely very interesting because, yeah, it is how fast it can be. By the way, it seems in few years you have been able, probably even to replace the plants, the varietals of coffee in some parts of your plantation also.
yeah,
Yes?
yeah, yeah. I
Okay.
mean, not very much because I mean there were good genetics. They were uh, in part of the story, like let's say 2015, something like that. There were a lot of big head brains looking into the aguacate, like saying, "Hey, this is like amazing," and giving for free some
Okay.
really good genetics. So thankfully, most of the plants are good varieties. We have nowadays we have, for example, geisha. We
Okay.
have the Ecuadorian uh, bestseller called Bourbon Sidra.
Okay.
Uh, we have another Ecuadorian bestseller that is called Típica Mejorado.
Okay.
We have Catuai. We have some Bourbon. And another variety that is called Colombia 6. I don't know if you have heard
Okay, yeah,
it.
no, not really. Yeah, I heard of course about Colombia, but not this kind of varietals.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah. So, I mean, we have nowadays we have a really nice work team. Everyone loves working there. It's really, uh, like, I don't know. It's really, I think you will agree with me on this, but it's really easy to fall in love with the coffee business. Like, you working. As days goes by, you start liking
Yeah,
it
yeah.
more and more and more,
How
and
many
you can never
people?
stop learning.
How many people are involved in the plantation?
That is a tricky question because in a normal basis, we have, counting me, 4 employees.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
but in harvesting periods, we go up to maybe 20 to 25 people.
Okay. Okay. You know, by the way, you are all selecting the beans, the cherries very carefully. So probably this is why also you need more people to do it more than
Yeah,
usual.
yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. More than usual, but let's say maybe 20, 30% more.
Okay.
Either way, it will be at least 15 people to harvest the plantation. Um, okay, so let's move to a little bit more technical part of the farm. For instance, I talk about altitude, I talk about the varieties,
Yeah, in fact.
but also,
By the way, speaking with the other planters, for the other farmers from different parts of the world, they, of course, everybody more or less is pointing out the climate changing as one of the main challenges to face. You are located in a very high altitude. So, are you in some way, do you feel you are affected by these problems or not? Are you having some issues about it?
I mean, yeah, like, and I remember that was some of the questions you sent me before. Um, and you actually in the mail you said like negative and positive effects. I have actually felt both ways. Like in a
Okay.
negative way, um, not so negative, but we have actually seen a little bit of how you can say this. Um, more rain over the past few years.
Okay.
So you need to fight a little bit more water than usual. And this is a region where it almost rain every day.
Okay.
Almost every day in rain. So a little bit more than that is like, okay, it's a storm every day or something.
Okay.
You understand? So it does pose a lot of complications along the way, and especially with the fact that a coffee plant uh, has this like virtue, let's say, in which when they receive certain amount of water, they start throwing flowers. Like I don't know if it's a defense mechanism or a survival, or I don't know, but
Okay.
it receives certain amount of water. Like you can actually measure it, certain centimeters per cubic, something like that. I don't
Okay.
remember the
Yeah,
number,
I know.
but the thing
Yeah.
is,
Anyway, I
it
understand.
rains past a certain level and it starts throwing flowers. So
Okay.
this is a really tricky problem because you start getting productions all over the year, and your peak of harvest start going a little bit slower, like softer. Okay,
Okay.
so you don't have 2 or 3 months of strong harvest. So you start having maybe 4, 5, even to 6 or 7 months of harvest,
Okay.
which increases a lot the production costs. So that is a bit of a problem. And another problem is the diseases. Like this is a very tricky part also to every coffee farmer, especially the fungi.
Okay.
So when you have a high humidity
Yeah.
ambient,
Yeah.
um, the fungi can reproduce it like it is in a better way. So things like Broya, Broca, anthracnosis, etc. I mean, there are very different kinds. It start being a serious problem because when you say certain leaves or certain products damage it, you say, okay, let's apply certain product. But when you have like this very high humidity
Yeah. The problems are increasing.
seasons,
Mhm.
yeah, so suddenly your plantation is contaminated. So it's a big problem.
Okay.
So that I would say is the negative part of the climate change. I mean, of
Okay.
course we feel it. On the other side, I mean, let me finish in the negative part. The thing is, as we are in 2,100 meters, it's not like we're getting any hotter. And if we are do getting any hotter, it's actually better for the coffee. So in that part, it's not a problem. But okay, so let's change to the positive side. And it is like positive for me in a selfish kind of point of view.
Yeah. Yeah.
But when you see the business as a business, like you try to not say not take it be so explicit, but you try to eliminate the competition. You try to you try to increase your prices. You try to increase your demand. So it being for the producers all over the Ecuador, is being really nice. The idea that the coffee as a commodity and as a specialty coffee has shoot their prices up. Like I think you're very um, you know about this, no?
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
problems with the yeah with the Brazil supplies and Colombia and everything. So that part was very positive for us the producers, especially from Ecuador, because first of all, as we are, I mean, Ecuador is not part of the commodity. We don't enter the markets.
Okay.
Either you have a great or of the worst coffee ever, you won't get into the commodity because you don't have the amounts necessary to enter.
Okay.
So when the when the price of the commodity coffee, like in New York markets, is starting to go up, it's not like it has a direct impact on your prices, but
Mhm.
it has a much better indirect mid
Relation.
to long term uh, effect. I mean, not like, hey, tomorrow the coffee is $1 higher. No, you won't see it. But as time goes by, maybe 6 months or a year, you start getting those effects, and those effects are much permanent here in Ecuador.
Yeah.
Because when you talk about commodities, you talk about future contracts and a lot of these complex financial instruments in which not always the producer is the one who is getting the let's say the best part, the good effect. Maybe the how do you say intermediario, like
Okay,
the mid guy,
understandable. Yeah, middleman.
the middleman, yeah, who actually benefits from the high prices, and not the producer. But in this case, in Ecuador, as it is an indirect impact, mid-term to long-term, actually.
Okay.
We have seen some really good benefits of these higher prices, because coffee here in Ecuador is also very expensive nowadays, like maybe 30-40% higher than it was like last year, and higher than it has been for the last 10 years.
Okay.
So producers are very happy to actually being able to sell their coffee a little bit high. And for the ones who are in the specialty business, as I am, you can also like start increasing your coffee. Like you kind of know that it's getting harder to get good quality coffees and to get a high quantity of good quality coffees. So you say like, hey, now it's $2 more expensive than before, because I know I can.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's like a selfish but a very positive thing for me, at least, in this coffee, this climate change coffee.
Okay. This coffee period in general. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah. Okay.
By the way, when we speak about specialty coffee, of course, it's very important to speak about the different varietals, and you are cultivating the really right one. But also, it's usually, right now there are a lot of experiments, and a lot of part of the process, a lot of elements related with the specialty are related with the coffee process. So if the coffee is washed, natural, honey, pulped, fermented, and so on. Are you experimenting some of these elements? Are you experimenting some of these processes? Are you trying something new, or well, are you playing with elements of coffee?
Okay. Yes. I mean, yes.
Coffee is processed.
Let me explain. Yeah. I'm kind of like thinking a good way to answer this.
Yeah.
First of all, like, let's say I decided to work in the coffee business for every day of my life. Okay, for now and into the future. So the family farm kind of it's a little bit small, and like it has a good production, but if you want to make some money, it kind of it's a little bit small. So what I'm trying to get is I specialize in certain post-harvest processes, as you were saying, and I started to buy coffee cherries from other farms and processing it myself, so I can actually increase my specialty
experience
coffee supply.
Okay.
More than experience supply. Like let's say I don't have 100. Let's say I don't have 10,000 pounds anymore. I have 20,000 pounds or 30,000 pounds. So this story was kind of trying to answer your first question. Like the post harvest is a very important part of the process. Yes, that's like a clear example. You can buy some coffee from another farm, and if you process it, you can actually increase the quality at least 3 or 4 points in a SCAD score.
Okay.
And being a little bit more specific into the processes, I work mainly with anaerobics. I have learned that it is actually a very nice way to getting good cup profiles. Working anaerobic process in the fermentations part allows you to extend the time of the fermentation into when you like cut out the oxygen of the process, these microorganisms kind of, when I say it, like it's a little bit harder for them to decompose the material, so it takes much more time, maybe let's say 5 or 6 times the time.
Okay.
So it allows you to maybe I'm not like a chemical, but in my understanding, it allows you to build some more complex
acidity or
acids.
Mm-hmm.
No, yeah, like lactic acids and like let's talk about molecules. Okay, so I think if you take a little bit more time, not a little bit more, a lot more time into these processes, I think the molecules are going to be built way more complex. Okay, like a bigger molecule, which will translate into bigger, not bigger, better profile, better characteristics of the cup. So yeah, I work mainly with dry anaerobic processes in the fermentations. In the benefit part, I do washed honeys and naturals. I do the 3 of them.
Mm-hmm.
I have tried like semi-wash, semi-honeys, but in my experience, I have like learned that it is better to go just one way. Like if you want to do wash it, do a good wash.
Okay.
And if you want to do honey, do a good honey. Not try to mix them both.
Okay. So you're experimenting, but not that much. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Once the direction is found, this is the way.
And then of course the drying process is like a whole science. Nobody actually cares about the drying process, but it's one of the most important parts, and that's when I mean in my criteria, that's when you actually gain those few points that lags you for an 88 to a 90, like that jump that it's actually when you translate it into dollars, it's like a huge jump. But normally, and I have seen like talking to a lot of people that they always take care a lot of care into the fermentation process, and they're like, "Hey, what are the magic you're doing?" And then they throw the coffee into the market scene and say like, "Yeah, no, I mean, in my case, my secret is in the drying process. Like, I have very specific drying processes for every product. Like, if it's a natural, it has some things to do, and if it's a wash, it will be into a different way, a different path. And what else? And if into the third question, the experimenting part, I'm trying to mix coffees with fruits. I'm trying to. This is the project for this year. I tried it last year, but I cannot get mixed into the lots, and I lost the experiments.
Okay.
Yeah, but I'm trying to like ferment with certain maybe citric fruits or maybe some dry bone fruits. This like peach or guanabanas or something like that.
Okay,
interesting. Try and translate some of those flavors into the coffee. I don't know. This is an experimentation.
We will see.
Yeah. I think that answers all of your questions.
No. For these experiments, have you some support from the other local governments or from scientists? Have you any contact with external organizations?
But yeah. I mean, government, no. But I am actually working very closely with a university.
Okay.
And we are actually doing some really nice things, like some really good projects in which it's a win-win because they want to get some, let's say, scientific data. I mean, well-measured data along some years to make some decisions or, well, I think you can imagine some good outcomes of having this kind of results.
Okay.
But like in a more specific way, we are building nutrition plants for the agriculture part. So we have like 3 or 4 different plants, and of course each one comes with a control. Uh, you understand me?
Yeah, no, absolutely, yes.
Okay,
Very good, very
so
interesting.
that is one part. We are also making post-harvest uh, um, experiments, just like we were talking before, but with a much more scientific thing, like in a lab with very controlled environments, and they have good equipment. So if you want to say like, hey, I want to ferment this in these parameters and whatever, they just like need to put it in a computer, and they have the perfect microwave to do it or something like that. So that is like 2 experiments with different teams. And but the thing is, yeah, I'm involved, and we are trying to
No, it is,
actually get
we
it.
are doing a lot of things. The plantation is small but full of energy.
Yeah.
The perception I have right now. Well, before you have spoken about sometimes the relation between the capping points, the capping score, and the price of the market. In your experience, I think probably it's quite a strange question. It's quite an arguable question. There is any relation? How much money a coffee can get from any point it gets? I understand it can be very complicated and it can vary a lot. Just to have an idea.
Yeah. I mean, there is 2 main parts. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you say you need to understand or people need to understand.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
The thing is, I like to relate it a lot to the wine business because it's exactly the same. You you can get your prices high on 2 things. One is the quality of the product. That is like, let's say, 50 or 60%.
Okay.
The other 40% of the price, you get it out of reputation, out of prestige.
Prestige. Okay.
Yeah.
I hope I got the word prestige. So to add story, to explain.
Yeah. But not only the story behind it, because the traceability is part of the specialty business, no? You kind of assume that it's implied already. But in this case, for instance, I'm talking about my farm. Who is this aguacate? I mean, who the fuck is aguacate? That is one question. Or another thing is, hey, I have heard about aguacate. I have heard they say the coffee in this part of the world. I have actually tried. And along the years, you start building a prestige, a reputation as a brand. And you can say, hey, you want to try my coffee? Now it's $2 more, $3 more.
So you want to say that the copying score is affecting the first 60%, the first place we face. Okay. So it's just measuring this part. Well, I mean, but if the coffee gets, I don't know, 85 or 90 points, how much price it can increase? Yeah.
Let's go back to that 60 part, in which, especially when you are into your first years, that is the only thing you have. You don't have any reputation. You don't have a brand. You have to build it.
For instance, we are just playing. I know, I understand.
Yeah, in the first years, inside that 60%, it is crazy. Like, it is crazy how you can go higher in prices as long as you can walk across the SCA parameters, or SCA score, let's say.
Yeah.
So it's funny because it's like an exponential. If you translate it into a graphic, it's a complete exponential. Like, at first, if you go from 81 to 82, no one cares. No one will give you 1 penny more from that.
It's a commodity.
As a commodity. You go from 82 to 84, maybe you can say, okay, now I want to sell my coffee 50 cents more expensive.
Okay.
If you go from 84 to maybe 86, now you can say, okay, I have a floor-based price. I will not sell you my coffee below, let's say, $2.50 or maybe $3.
Okay.
But the exponential part comes right here, no? Like, then when you get from 86 to, let's say, 88, it's like, okay, your coffee is no longer $3, $2.50. Maybe your coffee is now $4.50, maybe 5.
Okay.
And then each point you gain along the way, like from 88 to 89, you can average maybe $1 or $2 to your price. And when you reach 90, you can say, okay, my coffee now, if you say it's 90 and I say it's 90 and everyone says it's 90, you can actually decide your price and the people will pay for it.
Okay. Okay. No limits at that point. Okay.
It's completely like, at first, the increases are minimum and eventually it starts going go low, high. And when you surpass your 89 or 90, you can actually put the price you
Okay.
want.
Vertical climb in the last step, in the last part. Okay,
Yeah.
very interesting as approach, as idea. By the way, well, anyway, there are fantastic results, but how complicated is it to get 1 point in the SCA score in your experience?
I mean, yeah, let's go back to the same graphic we were doing. Like at first, you don't increase anything in dollars, but it's also like it's very easy to go from an 81 to an 82 or to an 83. Like you need to correct a few parts in the process. Like, hey, don't throw the coffee into the ground, into the floor. Put it in a bin, and you'll see your couple of points better. And, I mean, what I'm trying to go is as in the dollar go high along the curve, the exponential curve. It's also the amount of difficulty you will have to increase that point. That's the amazing part of it. It's not just so subjective. It's also in the processing part. It's very objective. Like at first, improving a couple of points is very easy. Like as I told you, you do one or two things another way, and it's high. But when you go into 88, going crossing that 89, or when you are at 89 going to that 90, you need to like take care of everything in the process, and everything needs to go perfect. And you need to find where is your mistake along the way. Maybe it was in the field, maybe it was the nutrition of the plant, maybe it was the harvest, maybe it was the fermentation. Yeah, I mean, it started getting very difficult. So the curve will be exactly the same as the dollar curve. Like,
I see. No?
If you go high into this course, it will be much more difficult to keep improving, going up.
And then at the end, if you want to win the Olympic Games, every detail become fundamental.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But like with a microscope.
That's a very interesting point of view. Yes, this is very nice. But so far we have spoken about the quality of the coffee, your production, and so on. But something instead that is related with your daily life in the plantation. You said that you were working in coffee, but in the capital city, so probably not touching the ground. I mean, right now instead your life is changed. So yeah, now your daily life is related with the farm, with the ground itself.
Yeah, of course.
Do you like this part? I think it's an experience of life.
Yeah, no, I love the fields and the country life, and I love going to the farm. Thankfully, the farm is really close to my house. This is a small city. It's not a town; it's a city, but it's a small city. But the thing is, normally the coffee farms are very like into the country. Like, hey, you need to drive 3 or 4 hours to reach there. Thankfully, this farm is here in the city, so I make maybe 20 minutes from house to the farm. So that is fantastic. It allowed me to go there every day, and also it has allowed me to launch a touristic approach also. Like, hey, you wanna learn from coffee business? Come here and I'll teach you.
You welcome people visiting you. You can
I'm trying to like make it a good business out of it, because like it gives you a lot of money. It's really simple, but okay, that is one side. More in a more personal way, as I told you, I love the country. I mean, I love having a machete in my hands and going to the plants. And love that part. but also being in the coffee world for like almost 5 years now, and I started working at a cafeteria. It was a specialty coffee cafeteria.
Okay.
I, I mean, I'm talking maybe 2015, 16. The first things I've learned was barismo. Then I started getting courses of copying. Then I started getting courses of roasting.
Okay.
And my job there, besides the courses, the academic part that it was amazing. My job there was an administrative part. I mean, I was behind doors.
Okay.
So the thing is, I started learning a lot about the business as a business. Okay, that was like the part two, the roasted part of the coffee. Then I came to Loja and started working in the part one, or the agriculture part, and start trying to transform this family farm into a business also. So the thing here is what I'm trying to get is um, I have worked and learned a lot about coffee in each part of the business, but also in all my years, I have been like the backdoor head of the businesses. So nowadays, I think I have like a good, fully understanding of how the whole process works. Um, Nowadays, since last year, kind of March, I don't know, something like a year ago, I it's not that I left the, the coffee farm. I still go every day, but I started a new and more personal project that is an export company.
Okay.
And the idea is to, like, as I told you before, the idea is to make money out of this, like to build something that will work for the rest of my life. So yeah, I built this export company. I have some good clients all around the world, and I'm working with a lot of other coffee farms. I'm doing a lot of how do you say, consulting services, something like that, into the improving quality of them, and also this thing I was telling you before, that of buying cherries and processing it myself. So the idea is to like have a very big supply of high specialty coffee.
Okay.
That is like my main project. And one of my main clients is in China, and that part is really good because um, when you consider China as your client, you can assume your demand is infinite. Like there will be no amount of coffee produced by Ecuador that could even reach or scratch the needs of supply from China, no, but of demand from China. There will be no amount of supply that can reach the demand. So like, okay, when you do your projections and everything, you say like, don't worry, like demand is infinite. You just need to produce it. Be good.
No problem. I mean, it seems to me, it seems to me that your previous experience has allowed you to become a very open-minded farmer. So probably more than the average. Do you think this kind of situation, so a farmer that is sort of very open-minded with the rest of the world, that is know all the other steps of the chain, is getting more common, or instead is still very rare to find farmers with such an approach, able to understand from the finca, from the field, from the tree to the barista counter?
I mean, I understand the question. I'm thinking about it. I don't see like it's a normal thing, but I know at least from Ecuador, uh, say at least 5 or 10 people. No, not 10, maybe 5, 6 people who actually take care of the whole business of have a, as you say, like an open mind, wide view of the whole supply chain. You can say like, yeah, okay, I have my farms or I have my suppliers, et cetera, and I can like reach my clients and
In the cafeteria.
yeah, that's not the normal case. Not the normal case. The normal producer is like the typical old guy, like only speaks Spanish, no English.
Okay.
Didn't reach any other markets than
The
the
one
one
he
they know
knows.
well.
Okay, the one he knows from the past, I
Yeah,
suppose. Okay, I see. I see. Very, very
yeah. I
interesting.
mean, I think that gives you or gives me a very good competitive advantage. I
Yeah,
think, like
I can imagine.
especially in a midterm, long term,
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
I meet people along the way who is like, okay, so you do understand some things. Let's try and work together or something like that. I think it gives you some good.
Yeah, yeah. No, no, I see. It's very, very, I understand that. I fully agree. Well, sorry, we don't want to inspire you that much. But okay, you're right now, you are living and you are working in the farm since some years, even if not that many. Well, in a farm, of course, you are deep into, in some way, a wild world or a very exotic world from our side. Can you tell us something, I don't know, strange or the particular that happened to you in the farm, in the finca? Some strange situations.
Um, mm, for instance, one thing that blew my mind, I don't know, it was last year or some time ago. It was not my farm, but as I told you, like I was like reaching and searching for new suppliers and everything. Let's say I have visited at least 100 coffee farms all over
Okay.
the
Wow.
province. Uh, One thing that actually blew my mind that there were a couple of them. I mean, not all of them, but especially in region called Zamora, that is here in Ecuador. Uh, there were some coffee farms that were completely vertical. Like when you know, like a farm, you see like a land that is horizontal, and like I have seen some farm that are completely vertical. I mean,
Wow.
let not
Okay.
say completely, but it has a steep so high that you can. I remember walking through there, and I was like grabbing coffee plants, being able to walk through it,
To be a client
and
there.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I was hiking,
Yeah.
and the farmer, the owner was like walking like it was a,
A
I
monkey.
don't know. You understand me? Like it was just the most normal thing in the world, walking in a vertical way. Like yeah, and like maybe charging something like maybe some wood or that thing.
Wow.
So I was like, dude, I would need some like a
Ropes. Oh, yeah.
ropes
Okay.
and everything to not die. Yeah, that was a really interesting one. Um,
Wow. This is
what
incredible.
else?
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Because
No, no.
you
I
are
mean,
like up to the Andes. Yeah.
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 I was
Okay.
hiking. I was
Yeah.
completely hiking. Like, yeah, climbing my way through the plantations, and they
Yeah.
were walking like the most normal thing.
I guess like just a
Um,
climber approach. Okay.
yeah, yeah. Actually, it was a really interesting thing for the plants because of the how do you say it in English? Permeability. Do you know
Okay.
what permeability
Yeah,
means?
yeah, of the ground, I
Yeah,
suppose.
so
Yes. Mhm.
of the ground exactly. So it allows the plants to have. It was. I mean, let's give some context. It was a very humid, humid and very wet zone. It rains more than
The normal. Okay.
yeah. Let me give you something to think about. It rains so much that it is normal for the people living there uh, to never close the water, like in your
Okay.
water supply of your
Okay.
house,
Okay.
because they know that they have so much water that if all the town closes
Okay.
the water supplies,
The tube, the
tubes
pipes. Okay.
will the pipes
Exploding.
will explode. So I mean, the thing
Wow.
is, imagine like there are certain regions in the world that
They have no
people
water.
will
Yeah.
kill for a drop of water.
Yeah.
Yeah, and here they're like, hey, leave open that thing 24/7, otherwise it will explode. So I mean, that's like yeah, that was
Okay.
also like
The
wow, what the
opposite.
fuck? Yeah, Normally, I mean, I grew up with the idea, okay, take shorter showers, close the lid, everything. Just like do whatever you want, like water is simple.
Okay.
But
All the water you need.
yeah, that's the amazing part.
Even
Yeah,
the water
the
you
amazing part
don't
of the
need.
Amazon.
That's
Yeah,
incredible.
yeah.
Because you are in the Amazon side.
Yeah, kind of.
Okay.
I'm more like um, high mountain region.
Okay.
But if you go
Facing.
like a couple of hours into the Amazon, you into the like
Okay.
west side of the world, you will enter immediately into this jungle.
So you can
But
find
trying
some.
to like connect the two stories. The thing is, in these regions, it rains so much, it has so much water that the plants, when you soil, you know what soil is?
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
grass,
of course, yes.
okay.
The
When you
ground, yes.
soil, yeah, when you have coffee plants in a horizontal way, it starts to rot because
Okay.
of the amount of water. So the vertical way of doing it is actually great because you have all the time
Yeah.
rain and all the time water going through it. But as it gives you great permeability, the water is never
Dry.
never stopped there. Let's say,
Yeah,
okay,
I see.
it always flows.
Yeah.
So it's fresh, excellent water all the time. So the
Okay.
plants are amazing.
But not too much.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Fantastic.
And like you wanted to know like a funny fact? There you have.
Well, Pablo, very, very interesting. Sorry to disturb you that long. We saw you are enjoying your coffee.
I love talking about coffee with everyone. Yeah, I mean, sometimes I wonder if my work is actually doing things or just talking. Like I talk with everyone.
Well, you have passion, so you share your passion simply.
But it happens more than you will imagine. Like it's crazy. I also wanted to ask you like just a little bit, a few questions. Want to know with whom I am actually talking with because, for instance, like I didn't like Google you before. I mean, I did, but I forget it because it was last week. I have one day memory, but like what do you do? I saw you were like an academy, something like that.
In our group? Yeah, well, we are we are several things, honestly. Well, it's a company that is a site, the mother company, Mocaflor, is a classic Italian roasting company. So we roast coffee and we do Italian classic blends. Then also there is another segment of the company called CaffèLab. CaffèLab is mainly an e-shop related with the specialty coffees. So yeah, we supply specialty coffees from all over the world, and we really hope soon yours too, okay? So we can have the contact. And then Espresso Academy, this one is a coffee school, is a coffee academy. Yeah, we are providing courses in Italy, but also with a lot of people from other countries, from abroad. Right now, we have also opened several branches from all over the world. So yes, we work mainly for me in the academy, but then also we work with the other parts of the company. So we are several things.
Okay, and where are you based?
In Florence, Italy. Yeah.
Okay.
Firenze, okay. You know, okay. Florencia in Spanish.
Okay. Yeah, okay. I get it. But you don't have like a coffee shop, like a coffee or cafeteria.
No, it's a roasting company. Yes, this is the main business is that we don't own a cafeteria, but we supply hundreds.
Hundreds of okay.
Yeah.
And where are you? From where do you actually buy your coffee, like your grains?
Mainly from importers. Very rarely we have direct relations because the company is quite small. So we are not that strong to buy coffee from the very origin. So of course, for the Italian blends, we get a lot of coffee from Brazil, the classic Santos, in general. And then also, coffee from all over the world. The specialties are gotten from many different parts of the world. I don't think we never had something from Ecuador, even if we are still selling some coffee from Galapagos Islands. So yeah, if you want, you can contact me through the mail that I've written to you, speaking about coffee, and then yes, we can go. We can try, okay, to see if it's possible. As
Yeah, of
said,
course.
usually we work with importers because we don't buy that huge quantities, so it's difficult for us to have a direct relation with the farmers. But
But in that subject, can I ask you like a kind of a sensitive question, but to understand if we can actually work together directly? Um, how much do you pay for a pound of coffee? And I assume you pay for quality too. So let's say how much would you pay for an 85, an 87, and an 89?
His son is I trust the other guys, yeah. But maybe in Italy, I can say that for a 85, maybe 10 euros. Yeah, from 8 to 20, more or less.
Okay.
Euros per kilo.
Per kilo,
So per
pound?
kilo.
Per kilo.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's something we can actually work like, because I mean the thing is, coffee from Ecuador is more expensive than the rest of the country because we manage dollars, because a lot of factors. But the thing is, it's more.
No, I think it's possible. It's possible. We always look for coffees that have a nice story to tell. So as you said, this is even for us, the 40% is the story behind again.
Yeah, of course.
Many consumers are very in love for these matters. Thank you, Pablo. You told us a lot about the life in the plantation. Has been very interesting. By the way, your point of view about how the price of the specialty coffee changed in terms of the scoring and then also the curves they need is very, very interesting. By the way, thank you very much again. My very best.
No, well, thank you. Thank you to you for listening and for the call. It was actually really interesting too to talking to you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye.
Goodbye.